How you doing, everybody out there in YouTube land? Say hi.
Hello.
As you'll notice, we're in a different place than you usually get sick of my schnoz and throw up in. Sorry, I've been drinking, little disclaimer. But I'm with my good buddy here.
Hammerheart Brewery.
But but you remember him. You've asked about him in other videos. I've done 3 videos with him now. I think, no, this will be the 3rd one. Anyways, I forgot your name because you're one of my best
Scorch
friends.
Spazbot here.
And my name is Scrotum Socks. And you are drinking with us, and we're going to be talking about metal. And at the end of this video, you're going to say, wow, I wasted my fucking time. Anyways, thanks for doing this, by the way. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. It's for you, I guess, and for me. But I'll get it out of the way. We're listening to the new Falls of Auroras album, Vigilance Perennial. Check it out. It's amazing.
It's right here, I guess.
Yeah, I don't, just a CD cover. Anyways, so today's topic, I've been struggling to get it into words, but you're gonna love it because it's me. But I asked Ron to pick out, and I picked out very quickly and shittily. But I said, like, basically what I did was I know Ron's been going through kind of listening to a new phase and listening to music that he hasn't previously been so rabid about, and that's basically like traditional heavy metal. And so I just wanted to find a way to get him to talk about the traditional heavy metal kind of stuff that he has been listening to. So what I came up with was, for the topic of the video, is basically like the last time you felt you had like a revolution or a turnover or a new era of genre of listening style that you hadn't previously been so crazy about. And I've got mine and you've got yours. We've picked out 5 albums to talk about, and so we'll get into that more
Tomorrow.
yeah, tune in tomorrow and we'll get into it. Anyway, I'll start it off just so you can kind of get an idea of what we're going for here. So to preface, I guess the reason this has become a thing that I've been listening to more and more, not that it's like a pronounced genre title, I'm not avoiding it by any means, but so a couple years ago I came down with an ear infection. I wound up having like 25 to 50% hearing loss in my left ear of the lower frequencies, and so that has led me to kind of have some albums just have kind of like a strange mix to them, like a shitty mix that's really muddy, washy stuff. It's really nasty. It's kind of allergic to me anymore. And that's sad because I want to be able to listen to any album with just a clean plate and be able to give it, you know, the full chance that it deserves as a listener. So I've kind of gravitated towards stuff, and this is what my pile is about, is black metal stuff that's musically intelligent, but it doesn't rely on production value that much, and the instruments are easy to tease apart and easy to consume, and something that doesn't like have a production or recording or mix that makes it sound like more than really what it is. In a way, the bands sound kind of live, pretty just standard, no frills, no bullshits, no gimmicky sort of music, so that the band you're just left there with the music and the band.
So it's a natural sound.
Right, and so that is really what my thing is. I couldn't put that into less words than that really at all. Plus I'm drunk, so I mean, there's that for you. Anyway, so the first album I picked up here is Darvulia. I talk about this band a lot, but this album is Mysticism Macabre. This one and the other album with the candle middle finger, Alliance something or other, are amazing. I just chose this one because it was easier to pick. But yeah, all the instruments here are just instantly tangible. There's just nothing weird about this. Just guitars, drums. It just sounds so simplistic and watered down, and you can just jump right in and listen to it. And the music is just amazing. The dissonant riffing is just so great. Now that's the kind of thing, like, he and I are kind of into dissonant riffing and just strange atonal riffs, and this band really influenced he and I when we played in Satan's Almighty Penis, big time. So I picked out this album, listened to it, it's amazing. Yeah, that's it. What do you got?
That is Satan's almighty penis right there. That's
Yeah.
what they should have been, because they sucked. All right. For some reason, I've got records. I don't know why. I mean, I don't really have as many records as I do CDs. But these particular things are record formed, record shaped. Anyway,
Circles and squares, like I've been saying.
Yes, there you go. And these are like really thin ones. Those are a little thicker. This is a band that, the story about this one is, it took me a long time to hunt this band down. I'd heard it on the radio when I was a kid, just to show you how old I am. We used to hear a song on the radio, and if you really liked it, you'd have to hope to catch it again so you could tape it.
Right.
So,
I totally remember that.
Yeah, so I taped this song off this album, and it took me like 15 years to figure out what the freaking band was.
Damn.
Mainly because, you know, I'd kind of forgotten about it. But overall, I mean, it was just one of those, it was such a heavy song.
But it stuck with you for 15 years.
Oh yeah, I loved the song forever. And I swore they never played it on the radio again. So I was stuck with this song. I'm like, what is this? I mean, it sounds so simple nowadays. You just freaking ask Siri.
Right.
But back then you couldn't. There was no internet, nothing. So anyway, Honeymoon Suite. So I finally get this CD. This on CD. And I only have it on record too because I saw it on record recently. I'm like, well, I better buy the freaking record. Total, like, straightforward, kind of extremely cheesy rock. Hard rock, though. There's some really badass guitar sounds on this. I don't know how else I'd describe it. It's just kind of cock rock. Really cock rock, but not Van Halen cock rock. I mean, it's
butt rock?
Yeah, kind of a butt rock. But I've ended up buying all their new albums. I think they continued until, like, the 90s. You should check them out. I mean, they're...
What's the album called?
This one is called... What the hell is this called? I think it's just a self-titled Honeymoon Suite. And it's got a great cover.
Self-titled. Yeah.
So anyway, the reason I brought that one into the foray here tonight is just because I spent so many years listening to pure dissonance and dark black metal. I wouldn't allow myself to enjoy that kind of stuff. And now I'm old, I don't care anymore. I can really kick back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's
like music that just hits on the mark, does it well, doesn't have to dance about pussyfoot and trying to be what it isn't.
There is pussy though. Anyway, I'm done. That's all I got to say about Honeymoon Suite.
Honeymoon Suite.
5 albums or so.
I don't think I'd ever heard of that band until just now.
I'll play it.
So, I'm thinking this video, I think Aaron the Metal Theologian, you're going to love this video. And I think you should check out Aaron the Metal Theologian. And I think you should check out Aaron the Metal Theologian.
I have been.
Oh, you have? Good.
Yes.
So I've had this CD in my collection for so many years. This is Darkwoods My Betrothed. Witch Hunts. It's funny how different our piles are. And I like that though too. So this is a Finnish black metal band. Again, falls in this category where all of the instruments are nicely separated to the mix. There's no like hard pans, nothing where everything's fighting for the volume. It sounds pretty live. No gimmicky, obviously no gimmicks based on the album cover here. But yeah, cheesy sort of, their instrumentation is super complex and there's a lot of keyboard element in this album, and I really like how that just adds an extra element of musicality to it, because the keyboard player isn't just playing the riffs. It's not just like a bass player in the higher register in a way.
That's cool.
But this is such an underrated band, Darkwoods My Betrothed, and I think really all their stuff is pretty decent. I've been listening to this one quite a bit though. It's just pretty melodic. It's not like Swedish melodic or anything. It's not really all that atmospheric. It's just great fucking music, awesome riffs, just really no bullshit to have to, you know, wade through to get to the good riffs, the good music. And so yeah,
like 90s.
Yeah, very, very 90s. This is came out on Spine Farm. I can't find a year on it, but yeah, I would say maybe 98, 99, somewhere around there. Members of like Gloomy Grim, Babylon Whores, Thy Serpent, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll probably be talking more about these guys in the next couple of videos or so.
Excellent.
So next from Scrim Sax Attack. Crack.
I forgot what my name is already. All right, I'm gonna diverge here. Mine are all gonna seem kind of similar.
Well, that's great.
But yeah, sure. Okay, here's another thing that this is a band that I remember watching.
Whoa, are those boobs?
Yeah, that's Wendy O. Williams. She's pretty famous,
Damn.
pretty legendary. This is the Plasmatics Kotus.
No boobs on my channel.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No, dude.
They're covered. They're covered. That's actually a pretty badass album band photo there.
Yeah. I always thought that should be the cover.
I agree. Have you heard this? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think this is when this stuff came out. I'm sure the punk guys, really liked this. I guess this was kind of their metal album, from what I understand. They started out a punk band, and I like this metal stuff better, obviously, because I'm a metalhead. But when they first started showing the stuff on Hell's Headbangers Ball,
right?
Headbangers Balls. I remember seeing a couple of Plasmatics videos and going, "What is that garbage?" I did not like it. It was just too. I don't know. It just sounded stupid. So anyway, we find this. I found this like quite a few years ago at some half-price books place, and I'm like, "Yeah, it looks badass." So anyway, it's really straightforward, but it is just. I would compare it to maybe almost like a Wasp.
Okay.
But kind of a lot meaner. Wendy O she could probably kick Blackie Lawless's ass. She has got a mean ass voice. That's about it. I mean, I'm bringing this up just because it's something that I guess I wouldn't have allowed myself to enjoy for a long time, and now I can listen to it and just, yeah, it's just mean. I mean, it's really mean, but it's also really fun. I don't know how else to describe that.
Did Wendy ever do solo albums?
She went solo for a long time.
Have you heard them?
Yes.
How would you compare them to this?
I would compare them to sort of like what Udo Dirkschneider did with Accept.
I don't.
Okay, you never got into Accept? So like Udo is the singer for Accept. So he went out on his own.
Yeah.
Or maybe yeah, it's almost like they took the best elements from the band, and it's just kind of like they're not there anymore. So the only thing that's left is their kind of their charisma and their voice. So it's not worth
watered
it.
Down.
Yeah, it's not worth it anymore.
Okay.
I
always wondered how that compared to Wendy's solo stuff.
This stuff is so much better,
right?
In my opinion. I mean, it's just she had a great band, they had great production.
And that's the album Kotus.
Kotus. Oh man.
Now, what did they do after this? Or like you said, they were a punk band and then they went metal.
This is the metal. This is considered their metal album.
Did they continue to be metal, or?
Yeah, they pretty much stayed straightforward metal.
Okay.
It was kind of like the usual story of a punk band gets good at their instruments, and start to get tighter and tighter, kind of like what a lot of the '80s thrash bands came from punk.
Right.
So that's where I would say these guys came from. This is a lot more straightforward. There's really no thrash in it.
Yeah.
It's more. I would compare them to Wasp. If you like Wasp, you love this.
Like a punky Wasp. That sounds.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Definitely.
And so my next pick is going to be an album I keep harping on you assholes about listening to. And I don't think you're following through with me. Deathspell Omega's Manifestations 2002. I'm here to talk about it again. Really not much to look at packaging wise. But so this album was recorded in 2002 and it lay dormant for like 5 or 6 years.
Jeez.
And Northern Heritage finally put it out 2006 or 8 or something like that. But as far as the first era of Deathspell Omega, which I know you fucking love to death, like he and I got into Deathspell Omega early on and just went nuts for it.
Yeah.
And then in 2004 they did that C Monumentum Required Circumspice album, which is amazing but way different. But as far as I'm concerned, their early material is just like top-notch, plain ass, middle of the road, amazing black metal. This does, in its immersiveness and in the way it's so nasty, hyper, and raw, it does lend a lot of atmosphere to it. But there's really nothing there but a guitar player, a drummer, and a singer, a great singer, Shazul. I love his vocals to death. But these songs are so fucking just venomous, lethal, hate-filled, and satanic. I just love this thing. Whenever I'm looking through my phone for an album to listen to, or I'm looking through my CDs for an album to listen to or something, and I can't really decide this is usually either this or Inquisitors of Satan.
Yes.
I put on most of the time, and I never am wrong to choose that album. I love this fucking thing to death. It's just plain middle of the road, no frills, bullshit black metal, no bullshit black metal. Just get straight to the fucking bone and start gnawing on it. Black metal.
I feel bad I don't have that one.
I've got it on LP and CD. It's really worth picking up. And as a compendium to that one, there's also a Manifestations 2001, which is half of a... It's like a split album that never came out as a split. So they put it out as just another one of these kind of things. And they're totally worth picking up. If you're into the first era of Deathspell Omega, I think these are better than any of their other like proper albums.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would have just done this as it were an album, you know, and not call it like, hey, we missed this thing.
Yeah, we forgot about this in our basement.
But killer fucking just black metal. I'll stop harping on it, but check it out.
I will. I know I have. You play that to me, and I keep forgetting to purchase it. I'm an idiot. No, I have quite a few Deathspell Omegas in my piles. Well, I just played this one to Ben a few minutes ago.
Great.
He's just saying that. But
no, I don't just say things.
Yeah,
I mean them all.
But if you can stand kind of a glammy thing, I don't know. Maybe it's glammy. Okay, this is
like traditional power, like metal.
Yeah, kind of early power metal, I guess you could call it. I'm looking for a year here. 86.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an 86, and it's kind of a greatest hits album. And look it up and tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100% sure on that.
It looks like it is, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's I would almost describe it as like, let's say Man of War. Man of War does like a super polished kind of a glammy thing. I mean, Man of War is kind of glammy.
Yeah.
But let's say
that sounds like misleading to me.
I suppose you're right.
I don't listen to Man of War very much, and you do.
It's pretty melodic. It's a lot more complex than anything Man of War would ever do.
Right.
Just straightforward. I mean, if you look at some of the song titles on here called Wings of Destiny, The Night, Only the Strong Survive. I mean, okay, it sounds like a throwback, but it's not really. It doesn't sound like any of the new throwback bands. It's an incredible production. Somebody obviously put tons of money into this.
Right.
And that's about all I know about it. I did a little bit of stalking to try to figure out if there's any other albums. I think I saw that there were a couple, and half the songs were on each one. This was pretty much all the great stuff. So if you're looking for something that has just a million great guitar notes and vocals that soar, I mean truly soar,
right,
forever.
It reminded me of like the first Crimson Glory, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe like Jack Panzer's first one.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
I could see that. And they have beautiful hair. Like Striper, maybe. I don't know.
Also, maybe like Queensryche's Reach for Order. The first album,
not as progressive, so I mean,
right. Well, that one was a lot more straightforward, but like Jeff Tate's vocals from the get-go were awesome.
Yeah.
And vocally speaking, like usually the caveat to a band like this is like the vocalist is kind of like, anybody can shred guitar if they're from Southern California in 1986.
yeah.
But like to find a singer who can fucking wail like the guy on the guitar, is pretty hard to find. But this holds up on every level. I think
it's great.
Killer songwriting.
And no one knows about it, so it's probably pretty cheap.
I've heard the name a few times, but I'm really surprised after hearing it that I would have expected this to be a little more average than it was. So yeah,
that's great.
I'll stand behind that too. Fifth Angel, fucking ruled.
But yeah, I just discovered that recently, and I could not stop listening to it. I remember hearing people talk about it back in the day. Yeah. And I just Fifth Angel.
I'll tell you what, it's your fault for not talking about Fifth Angel and telling us about it beforehand.
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to talk about this band because you need me to do it, apparently. This is Thy Primordial's Crowning Carnage.
Ooh.
This is a killer band, and when I think of Swedish black metal, just middle-of-the-road Swedish black metal, Thy Primordial just fucking does it for me. I first heard this band when their Where Seasons Mark the Paths of Time, Where Only the Seasons Mark the Paths of Time, and Life Remains Eternal CD in '98, and it blew me away. It was like nothing else. It just was so filled with melody. It just, I love that just decadent, sort of hedonistic, melodic metal, and I just can't get enough of it. And like, really, I feel like at the end of the day, when I'm 80 years old, I'm only got 5 CDs left of my collection. Yeah, that'll fucking
disc
happen.
rot. Disc rot.
It's gonna be this kind of stuff that's in my collection. That's always gonna be with me. This kind of just super hyper melodic, aggressive kind of stuff. Now, The Crown and Carnage is not their best album. I don't have their best album. In fact, I talked about it in my Most Wanted Rarities album. That would be
super expensive.
Oh, At the World of Untrodden Wonder. Yeah, it goes for like 75, 80 bucks, somewhere around there. So I'd love to have a copy of it, but I have all the other stuff. But yeah, just killer, hyper melodic, kind of Swedish black metal. This is out on Candlelight, so it was a little more sort of commercially accessible. It showed a lot more of aggression. This is pretty comparable to Dawn. So if you're into Dawn's Slaughter Sun, you know, that album is kind of far and away unlike anything else, but like the closest predecessor to it would be something like Thy Primordial. In fact, same drummer as Dawn's Slaughter Sun. Morth, love that guy to death. But yeah, super aggressive, super melodic, and just no bullshit. Nothing, just you instantly jump in, and the songwriting is there. The riffs are killer. Lots of awesome instrumentation going on. Lots of great players. Would love to see this band live someday if that could ever happen, but I don't think these guys are even together anymore. And nobody talks about that Primordial.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's my second favorite Primordial.
God! That Primordial.
Well, that's what I mean. That's my second favorite.
That joke.
It wasn't even a joke.
You
I wish I had one of those. All right, this one. This is one of those that I bought. Like, look what I paid for this.
$275.
That was new. That was new. I'm not kidding. When it came out in, okay, where the hell's the date? God, I can't find it. I swear this is from like '83 or something.
When I put the camera on and you hold up an album, the year goes away from the back of it. I promise.
Okay, so you're saying I can make it up?
Yeah.
So anyway, $275 was what I paid for this thing, and I bought it. Okay, and I did not like it.
But what, like 87 or 93 or?
No, this is probably like 80 something.
Okay.
This would be. It's got to be in here. It's on Ebony Records, which doesn't exist anymore, of course. Okay, 85. Okay, so I was 15. So I bought it, and I was not into this kind of stuff at all. I mean, and you can see why I bought it, because it looked like, oh, that looks evil.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Can't blame you.
So it is kind of like a British hard rock, and you guys can look this up because you're on the computer right now.
Right.
But they turned
I'll put a link to all this stuff, obviously, as they do in every video. And I say it in every video, but you still are an asshole about it, in the description below. Go on.
But anyway, yeah, Ebony, that's a cool logo. It's got a pentagram. Nice, yeah. Okay, so Pinnacle, I'm sorry. So anyway, so I buy it, and I'm just like, what? It had clean vocals, actually almost kind of southern vocals. And what else did I mean? It was really emotional. I mean, I could dig the fact that it had some really emotional songs, really catchy songs. But I couldn't figure it out. I mean, because I was a young kid, and the only thing I liked was thrash. Yeah. You know, because that's all there was for me at the time. So I did not like this for years, and it sat in mint condition in my collection, unplayed, for like, well, how many years is that? I don't even know. 10 years. Let's say it's 7.5 years. So anyway, the reason I bring this up is because I can listen to this now on a daily basis, because it's just so catchy and so cool. Plus, it's got a cartoon logo.
Right. And airbrushed painting.
Airbrush painting. I mean, they don't do that shit anymore. No. And it is really heavy. I mean, it is a really heavy album, but it is not heavy in the new sense. I mean, there's no death metal, there's no thrash.
Right. Is there any band you would compare it to?
Well, they changed the name and turned into a kind of a fairly big band. And I can't think of what the hell the name was. It was kind of like they were on the same label as Avenger, who turned into Rage. Yeah. So you can kind of see it, kind of a hard rock, kind of like we're experimenting with metal, but we're not willing to step over the edge
So
yet.
they're American?
Well, these guys are British.
Okay.
So that's about all I got to say about Hammer. Really cool stuff, though.
Contract Hell.
Contract with Hell.
With Hell.
Would you like to enter in a contract with Hell?
Is there a contract? No, you already did.
That would be sweet if there was a contract.
Right.
I mean, like Sacrifix. You know, like you get the album and you sign it and right. The devil and all that shit.
Or Acheron, I was thinking. Anti-God, Antichrist.
Oh, yes.
Comes with the contract to sign your soul over to Satan. Speaking of Satan. Speaking of Satan, and this is pretty much, you know, what I've been saying about all these albums is pretty much similar, but I harped on this album when I got it in a couple months ago, but it's Kotus, Twilight's Depths. You gotta get a copy of this too.
That is cool looking.
Perfect finish, black metal, no bullshit, just, it's produced so well. I just love how it just sounds like you're there in a room with a black metal band that just plays amazing songs. Yeah. The only thing they're trying to sell you is Satan and great songs. It's so fucking good. It's sadly kind of short. There's only 5 songs on it. And I wound up checking out their other album, 7 Glorifications of Evil, and it doesn't even hold a candle to this fucking release. It was on Werewolf Records, which is by the Satanic Warmaster guy.
Is that an EP then? That's just like
it's an EP, and I want to check out the rest of their stuff and see if any of it is this good, because I can fucking get enough of this thing. It's a quick listen, sadly, but yeah, so it's just like so little to put into listening to the thing. But yeah, check out Kotus, Twilight Depths, finished black metal, just so fucking great. I would say this might even be better than some of the best Horna from back in the day. Right up there, like, I think these guys should be talked about with the Baptisms, the Hornas, the Azigals, but it's just so less distinctive than those bands. The only thing they're doing is writing amazing songs, and only on this one apparently, which is weird. That all their stuff isn't great, but it's so fucking good. I can't recommend it enough. Twilight's Depths by Kotus. Do it!
Yeah, that's a cool looking package too.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do my last one here.
And for the last one.
And for the last. Another old school. This is really old school. But this is one of those things where, here's my story about this. I'll keep it short. I used to go into a record stores when I was a kid. And I remember, I must have been too young to buy music. And I would look at this cover and I'd be like, that is badass.
You mean too young to have money?
Maybe that was it.
You can really buy music at any age.
Yes. But, you know, I didn't have a job. Okay? Yeah. It's hard to have money when you don't have a job.
Anyway.
So anyway, I see this album all the time, and I always wondered about it. I mean, it just looks badass. There's like a freaking, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a tiger or something playing a guitar. I mean, it's just badass.
I didn't even see that till just now.
Yeah, and I used to always look at this and just like, man, that looks really cool, you know? I don't know how they did that back then either. I mean, there was no freaking computer artwork. So anyway, this is April Wine. And the reason I bring this up is because this is another band that I would never have given the chance years ago, or even maybe even 10 years ago. Even though I've always been into bands like Blue Oyster Cult. I would not compare them to Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, maybe it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a kind of a mysterious rock, you know. It's not metal. It is definitely like kind of a rock, but there's something very mystical about them. I mean, very mystical and very I can't put words on them, and they got great songs, really great songs. I like this so much when I finally bought it that I went out and bought all their other ones, of course, instantaneously, and every album was great. I mean, just great. Really powerful band. Plus, they have a singer that unbuttons his shirt all the way down to his pants.
Have you ever, like, it's tucked in? He tucked his shirt in, like the gentleman that he is.
And this guy plays hockey, I think. Maybe, like, as soon as he gets done playing, he's like, I gotta get my hockey game. Shit, get out of the way.
I gotta say, it seems like hockey fans are the least shitty sports fans there are.
Maybe, yeah.
I kind of have a weak spot for Canadians, maybe. Maybe it's that.
This is probably it. It's probably Canadian. You're probably right.
Could be, yeah.
We were guessing.
I feel like,
check out April Wine, man. Really fucking cool. Dig it.
I would do that.
Yeah.
So this video, I feel like half of it was for Aaron, the metal theologian. I bet he could tell you about April wine all day. Anyways, thanks for joining us. It's been a blast. I wish this could go on longer, but it can't. I don't know why. You assholes want shorter videos or whatever. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for everything. Have a good night.